Hare Krishna, Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe. Sudevi. Radhe Radhe.
Welcome. We'll begin with Mangalacharan, page 1. We're in the Gaudiya Kirtan app.
And we'll try to take a little bit of time in between. So if you have the Gaudiya app like Jayanti does, and you can't get to the pages fast enough, we'll give just a little moment here for you to try to suss it out.
I don't know if you can see yet, but from there, but Radha, Vino Bihari, Mahaprabhu, all of them, they have changed their outfit.
Actually, we should tell them what Gurudeva said. I'll bring them close.
Darshan first. So, many years ago, as we were traveling around the world, especially after 9/11, it became quite difficult to carry them because altogether they're more than 35 pounds with their stands. And the airlines were getting a little bit concerned that maybe Mahaprabhu may do a karate chop on someone. So they were telling us, you can't bring them with you, next time you can't fly with them. And so we were in different temples and devotees were asking us if they can stay with them. And so we approached Srila Gurudev about it, and he said, no, they should stay with you. They want to travel everywhere and see their devotees everywhere.
They want to see their devotees all over the world.
They want to see their devotees all over the world. So now they have a chance to see their devotees all over the world, all at the same time, or at least for their devotees to see them. They're giving their darshan.
There's a little baby here too, just in case
Yes.
you didn't know. Can you help me with that? Subi.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm not good at this. Subi's good at it.
Technical support.
Be really, really gentle with it, okay? Don't force it.
Okay, we got this.
On TS?
Technical support, Subi.
Srimad Bhaktivedanta Narayan Nityanamine Shri Krishna कलाकतले सुदक्षम् औदर्यमाधुर्यगुणैश्च युक्तम् वरं वरेण्यं पुरुषं महन्तं नारायणं तं शिरसा नमामि श्रीगन्धिनं भक्तशिरोमणिं च श्रीकृष्णपादामृतैकहृद्ये चैतन्यलीलामृतसारसार नारायणं त्वं सततं प्रपद्ये नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नमो विष्णुपादाय गौरप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्री श्रीमद्भक्तिप्रज्ञान केशवैति नामिने अतिमर्त्यचरित्राय स्वश्रितानञ्च पारिणे जीवद्युते सदताय श्रीनामप्रेमदायिने नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिसिद्धान्त सरस्वतीति नामिने श्रीवर्षभारवी देवी गणिताय कृपामये कृष्णाय सम्बन्धविज्ञान दयिने प्रभवे नमः माधुर्योज्ज्वलप्रेमध्य श्रीरूपानुगभक्तिदा श्रीगौरकरुणाशक्ति विग्रहाय नमोऽस्तुते नमस्ते गौरवाणि श्रीमूर्तये दिनकारिणे रूपानुगविर्भाव सिद्धान्तध्वन्तहारिणे नमो गौरकिशोराय साक्षाद्वैराग्यमूर्तये विप्रलम्भरसम्बोधे पदं गुरुजायते नमः नमो भक्तिविनोदाय सच्चिदानन्दनामिने गौरशक्तिस्वरूपाय रूपानुगवरायते गौराविर्भावभूमेस्त्वं निर्देष्टा सजनप्रिया वैष्णव सर्वभौमश्री जगन्नाथाय ते नमः वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गे राधे वृन्दावने Gopinath Shri Estu Namaha Vrindaye Tulasi Devyaye Priyaye Keshavasya Cha Krishna Bhakti Prade Devi Satyavadyaye Namo Namaha Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupasvarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhaktashaktikam Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda Chaitodarapanamajanam Mama Mahatamagnirvapanam Shreyakairavachandrikadikaranam Vidyavadhujivanam Anandam Buddhivardhanam Pratipadam Purnamrikashvadanam Sarvatma Snapanam Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam Hare Rama Hare Rama Hare Rameva Kevalam Kalo Naskeva 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 Gatiranyata Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare.
So now we're going to sing Gurudev Kripa Karke. Jayanti, do you hear that? Gurudev Kripa Karke. Did you get it on the app?
No, it's not on the app.
Never mind, it's not on the app. We're going
Well, it's not
Shri
on
Guru
my app.
Charana Padma.
we're going to do Shri Guru Charana Padma.
Mm,
I don't know where it is on that.
it's not.
Shri Guru Charana Padma.
But it's on Google. Like, you look
It's
up
okay.
your name.
Shri Guru Charana Padma.
It's no good if it's not on the app. Is this Madhukar's? Gotta get him working on that.
It's page 28 in this book. Shri Guru Charana Padma. Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakti Sadma Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakti
Ebaro Kuruna Koro.
Ebara Karuna Koro.
Page 44 in this book. Ebaro, starting with EI.
Just wait a minute for those on the app to get it. Ebara Karuna Koro.
Radhe Radhe. So to sing on Nita Gunamani in that tune. Nitai Gunamani Amar, Nitai Gunamani, page 61 in this book.
Nitai Gunamani, Nitai, Guna Mani. Give it a moment. If you have the Gaudiya Kirtan app, Nitai Gunamani.
Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Krishna Shri Advaita
Jabike, page 73 in the small book, starts with Kejabi. Kejabike, Jabi Re Bhai. Did you find it? Can everyone find it?
Please send your answers in.
Induction. जाबिके जाबिरे Radha Krishna Pranamor with a long Hare Krishna.
Sorry, which one?
Radha Krishna Pranamor. Purvajijana Manasika Karya, which we wanted to do yesterday. Radha Krishna Pranamor.
Page Radha Krishna Pranamor.
Page 1, 2, 3. Can you see them now? Radha Krishna Pranamora Jugala Kishora Jivane Marane Arana Radha Krishna Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadale Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namah Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Vishnupadaya Radhikaya Priyatmane Shri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Narayan Namine Nama Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namine Manchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangam Langayate Girim Yatkripatamaham Vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam. First of all, I offer my Dandavat Pranam thousands of times in the dust of the lotus feet of our beloved Gurudev Nitya Lila Pravishtam Vishnupad Astottara Shri Srimad Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. And the same unto the dust of the lotus feet of Nitya Lila Pravishtam Vishnupad Astottara Shri Srimad Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. To all of our Rupanuga Gauriya Guru Varga, and to all Vaishnavas past, present, and future, including all of those who are watching on Facebook Live, I offer my Dandavat Pranam. So we're continuing with going beyond Vaikuntha, which is the Bhav Anubad, the commentary with Bhav on Sri Brihad Bhagavatamrita by Sanatan Goswami. And it is a commentary of our Srila Gurudev, Srila Bhaktivedanta, Narayan Goswami Maharaj. So before beginning with this, I would like to just offer the pranam mantra to Sri Sanatan Goswami by Raghunath Das Goswami. Vairaga Juga Bhakti Rasam Prayatnar Apayanan Mam Anubhikshamandam Kripam Gudirya Paraduk Duki Sanatanastam Prabhum Ashrayami. And praying to both Sri Sanatan Goswami and the commentator, or Srila Gurudev, that may a drop of the nectar which is present within these pages manifest within our heart. So now, our Srila Gurudev is continuing from where we left off yesterday. He was talking about what is a real guru, what is a false guru, or a kanguru, as he always would say. And also, he's speaking about cheating. He was mentioning about this person named Kabir who wanted to receive mantra from Ramananda Acharya. And this Kabir laid down in front of his pathway at night so that his guru tripped over him and said Ram Ram. So at that time he said, oh, now he's given me mantra. This is not the way to receive Harinam. This is not the way to begin a relationship through cheating methods. The guru has not accepted the disciple, so he has not empowered that mantra for the heart of that disciple. Neither has that disciple accepted the guru properly. Krishna in Bhagavad Gita says, Tat vidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya. So there's a process by which one accepts guru, and that's pranipat. There's surrender and trust, which develops through faith over time. And from that trust comes relevant inquiry, pariprashna. What is for my benefit? How should I proceed from here? And also sevaya. Sevaya means to follow the order of guru, but it also means to serve that person with faith. If that person is not accepting you and you're desperate for their acceptance, then like in the case of Sri Narottam Das Thakur or Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, how did they receive the mercy of their Gurudev? They melted their heart through seva. So we know how Narottam Das Thakur, he was of a very princely background, very powerful royal family. he was worth, in today's money, like millions or billions of dollars. And still, he was so desperate for the mercy of his Gurudev, Lokanath Goswami, that he brought himself to the position of a stool cleaner for his Gurudev in order to make this person that he wanted to accept as his Gurudev comfortable. At nighttime, he would go and clean the entire area where his Gurudev would go to use the toilet. In those days, the toilet was not in the house, the toilet was out in a field or out in the forest somewhere. So he would clean that area, make it very nice and fresh, so that when his Guru would come, he would be completely comfortable. It is said that he would make a nice cow dung path and make it all purified for his Gurudev. And one day his Gurudev, before accepting him, he said, "Hey, who is that thief who is coming here?" Taking my stool, basically. "Who is that thief?" And he found this boy crying, Narottam Das, weeping, "Please." He said, "Why are you doing this? I'm trying to get your attention. I'm begging you to please accept me as your disciple." So through this intense mood of seva, in desperation, he melted the heart of Lokanath Goswami, and then Lokanath Goswami accepted him as his disciple. In a similar way, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada was ordered by Srila Bhaktivedanta Thakur, who is his Shiksha Guru, and also his Harinam Guru. He gave him Harinam and Kurma Mantra. Our Gurudev said that, and we also discussed this when we were talking about love and kush, that it's not proper to refer to someone in terms of their material relationship. Once they come to the path of bhakti, you should ask, who is your Gurudev? And we should not discuss material subjects with one another. Rather, we should ask, how is your bhajan? Will you please share any inspiration? So, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur externally appeared as the son of Srila Bhaktivedanta Thakur, but he never saw him that this is my father. He saw that this is my Gurudev. Srila Bhaktivedanta Thakur was always encouraging Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur on the path of bhakti. So he saw him as my Gurudev, and Bhaktivedanta Thakur ordered him, you should accept Srila Gaur-Kishoras Babaji Maharaj as your Diksha Guru. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada was endeavoring to follow the order of his first Guru, Srila Bhaktivedanta Thakur, doing whatever he could to receive the mercy of Srila Gaur-Kishoras Babaji Maharaj. But because Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada came from an affluent family, because he was so learned, he knew so many languages, he was vastly learned in astrology, astronomy, and so many other subjects. Srila Gaur-Kishoras Babaji Maharaj could not even write or read his own name. He was Babaji, but quite avadut as well. Avadut means he's very difficult to understand or figure out. His heart is completely absorbed in Krishna Bhakti Ras, but sometimes from the perspective of the external world, from worldly persons, he may appear to be like a madman. For example, he chose to stay in a public latrine because he preferred the fragrance of that to the stench of the materialism outside. But from an external material perspective, people would think that's madness to stay in a public latrine. But his mood was, I don't want to be disturbed by all of this material stuff. Let me stay here and remember the sweet pastimes of Krishna. So Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada, day and night, was begging and petitioning Srila Gaur-Kishoras Babaji Maharaj, please accept me as your disciple. After quite a long time, he did not accept. Even once he said, oh, let me ask my Mahaprabhu. And then later he said, oh, I forgot to ask him. And then this Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, very young that time, Bimal Prasad, he began doing intense austerities, crying and praying. And it is said that he manifested this mood, which is written in the Bhajan of Bhaktivedanta Thakur. Karuna na hoile kandiya kandiya prana na rakhibo ar. Without your mercy, I have no reason to maintain my existence. Weeping and weeping, I will give up my life. And he was doing such intense austerities that he was rapidly losing weight. Finally, Srila Bhaktivedanta Thakur, he petitioned Gorkishoras Babaji Maharaj profusely on behalf of this young boy who was so desperate for his mercy. And this is our greatest hope, having connection to any Vaisnava who will petition on our behalf. We spoke about this yesterday regarding Balaram Rasayatra. So Bhaktivedanta Thakur petitioned, please accept him, look at his condition, how desperate he is. Then Srila Gorkishore Das Babaji Maharaj accepted him. The first thing he told him, all of the knowledge you have, all of everything that you have learned in the past, everything you think you know, take it and throw it in the ocean and come back as a clean slate. Tall order. But because he had already surrendered his heart, desperately seeking to receive the mercy of Srila Gorkishore Das Babaji Maharaj, he accepted that order and came back. And by that, Srila Gorkishore Das Babaji Maharaj was able to fill his heart with Krishna Bhakti Ras. So I just wanted to contrast the difference between the approach of Narottam Das Thakur and Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur to receive the mercy of their Gurudev from this Kabir who laid in front of the person he wanted to receive mantra from, tripped him, and then tried to receive mantra by trick. Oh, now I'm initiated because he tripped on me and said Ram Ram. This is bogus nonsense. Not that he said Ram Ram, but this person who is pretending to want to be a disciple. See, Gurudev said, one can get initiated by this kind of trickery also, but we cannot obtain devotion in this way. What is the purpose of receiving initiation? Krishna Seva Vasanam. By the association of sadhus, this is Bhakti Lata Bij, sadhu sangha is the seed of bhakti manifesting. By that, Krishna Seva Vasanam awakens or manifests in our heart. The desire or tendency, the greed to serve Krishna awakens in the heart. But if you try by trick, you will not get this devotion. Then what is the use? So here Gurudev said, Kabir simply remained a first-class Mayavadi. So we don't want to be in a position like that. In the same way, Guru should not try to force any disciple. This is also against the mood of Krishna. Krishna has given us the independence to do something. It is a choice, a mutual decision to make this connection. Once a disciple has accepted someone as Guru, in knowledge, not that somebody comes and wants to collect followers. Mahaprabhu says, Nadhanam najanam. I don't want followers. So he's teaching as universal Acharya that we should not be aspiring for followers.
Also sometimes when parents would bring their teenage or elder children to meet him and try to push them to Gurudev, Gurudev would ask, have they come on their own? Are you forcing them? Do these children want to come to me? Or are you forcing them? Because love is not forced.
Right. And they would say, no, they wanted to come. And Gurudev would say, good, because I don't want them to feel forced. This is a very important point. You cannot force love. That's why Krishna, even in Chaitanya Charitamrita, he said, I'm not at all attracted to all of those flowery prayers of the Vedas and the way that people approach him in a mood of fear. It doesn't move his heart. Maybe he likes it in one way or another, but it doesn't move his heart. But those who approach him with spontaneous love and affection, he said, I prefer to all of those flowery prayers that are in awe and reverence and fear. I prefer the stick of my mother chasing me, or my friends wrestling me and slamming me in the dust, or my gopis calling me lampat chor and saying all sorts of cutting words to me. He said, oh, these completely captivate my heart. So Krishna also likes natural, spontaneous love and affection. How does that manifest in our heart? How is it awakened in our heart? By associating with someone who has that mood. That's why Rupa Goswami said, Tishtan braje tat anuragi jananugami. In the essence of all advice, in that verse from Upadeshamrita, verse 8, Tishtan braje, always residing in Vrindavan, tat anuragi jananugami. under the guidance of that person whose heart is spontaneously flowing with love and affection for Krishna. This means a real Brajvasi. By being in their association, we will develop a mood like they have. And this will be the intrinsic nature of our soul. What is present within us will awaken. And if that is spontaneous, natural, and flowing, and that desire which is so strong will manifest in our heart to see Krishna, then Krishna will also want to see us and reciprocate with our eagerness. This is the root qualification for bhakti. Krishna bhakti rasa bhavitamati kriyatam yadikutopi labhyate tatra lolyam api mulyam ekalam janma koti shukritarna labhyate. Millions of births of doing good activities in this world, like giving in charity to the poor, opening up free hospitals, donating face masks by the million, or whatever you do, all kinds of material charitable works, millions of lifetimes of these, does not give the qualification for Krishna Bhakti Ras. What is the root qualification? Tatra lolyam api mulyam ekalam. The only, ekalam means only, mulyam means root, qualification for Krishna Bhakti Ras is the intense, greedy desire to attain it. That is called lolyam. Lolyam means greed, the intense, greedy desire to have it. And if that desire is actually strong, I wanted to say, where does that greed become awakened? How do we attain that greed? That should be the next question. Krishna Bhakti, Janma Mool, Hoy Sadhu Sangha. So there the word mool is used again. This means root. Krishna Bhakti Janma Mool. The birth of Krishna Bhakti, the root cause of the birth of Krishna Bhakti is the association of the pure devotees of the Lord, Sadhu Sangha. In the same way, it is said in the Bhajan, Shuddha Bhakata Charanarenu, Bhajana Anukul, Bhakata Seva, Parama Siddhi, Prema Latikara Mool. Again we have this word mool. It means root. The root of the Prem Lata means the creeper of divine love. This is also Bhakti Lata. Bhakti starts with Shraddha, Nishta, Ruchi, Asakti, Bhav, Prem. So from Shraddha, this is the first particle of Prem. Prema Latikara Mool. The root cause of that is Bhakta Seva. So Sadhu Sangha does not just mean being around a sadhu. Our Gurudev would also warn us, be careful. Even mosquitoes are coming around the sadhu, but they're just causing an annoyance, taking some blood, taking some energy, and creating an itch. This is not sadhu sangha. What is sadhu sangha? Sadhu sangha means pranipat pariprashna sevaya, bhakata seva. Asking relevant questions, hearing those instructions, following those instructions as they have given them to the best of our ability, and submitting ourselves, surrendering in a way that will help to increase our bhakti. Like our Gurudev said, please be merciful to me and chant your Harinam. Become happy. He would say, become happy. But he was saying, be merciful to me and become happy. How? Chant your Harinam. So even he doesn't want anything from us for himself. Like he said, I don't need you to make my bhajan successful. I was happily situated in Vrindavan doing my sadhan bhajan. I have come here for you, to help you. So please take my time, take my life seriously. And the next day he said, if you even capture a slight smell of what I'm giving, like incense from the other room. You know, like incense in one room, in the next room you get a smell. Even a slight smell, he said, your life will be successful. So from here, Srila Gurudev is telling, Gop Kumar was saying such things that it inspired full faith in the Brahmin. The Brahmin said, I have come from afar, and in my heart there is a strong desire to know one thing. What is sadhya, the final goal, and sadhan, the method to attain it. So many times we think, I am doing sadhana. But if we're not doing our practice, if our sadhana does not have a specific goal, then it technically cannot be considered sadhana. It might be a shadow, a reflection of sadhana, but not real sadhana. Kriti sadhya bhavet sadhya bhavasa sadhana vida. Nitya siddhasya bhavasya prakatyam hridi sadhyata. The definition of sadhana is those activities that one performs to attain a particular goal. What is that particular goal of sadhana? It is bhav bhakti, to develop divine loving sentiment, divine serving mood toward Krishna. This is the goal of sadhana bhakti. And the goal of bhav bhakti is prema bhakti. So, if we're doing activities but without a goal, then it might just be doing activities. And they might be good and favorable, and they might even be giving some sukriti, some spiritual merit, but it cannot be considered sadhana. I'll give you a simple example. I went to university for 4 years. I never selected a major. So I took so many classes. I took math classes, Spanish classes, biology, chemistry, mathematics, tennis, piano, this, that, whatever. I took so many classes, even singing. So many classes. And after 4 years, because I had never selected a major, meaning I never had a goal, all of these classes amounted to a lot of information, but I never graduated. I never received a diploma. So this is like the semblance of sadhana. But real sadhana would mean you would set your goal. I want to be a doctor. Then all of the classes you take will automatically bring you to that point. That would be your sadhana to attain that particular goal. In the same way, on the path of bhakti, if a goal is not established, a specific goal, then what we are doing cannot be considered sadhana. So then you will find people going, oh, I like Laddu Gopal. Oh, I like Nishingadev. I like Ram. I like. That's not the definition of bhakti. Bhakti is not about what I like. Bhakti is about what Krishna likes. Anyabhilashita shunyam, without any other desire. Jnana, karma, adi, anavritam. It's not covered by knowledge aimed at impersonal liberation or even reward-seeking activity and so forth. Adi. Reward-seeking activity is, I like. So therefore, I want Krishna to reciprocate with what I like. This is also considered like karma. It's not for Krishna's pleasure exclusively. The definition of bhakti says, anukulyena Krishna anushilanam. It is exclusively, anushilan, for Krishna's happiness, Krishna's pleasure, Krishna's benefit. Anukul means favorable for him, with a favorable mood, and also anu means anugatya, and it is constant, steady, flowing, unending. Ahaitiki apratihata, without any material cause or reason, and causeless, unending. As Rupa Goswami says in the 8th verse of Upadeshamrita, kalam nayed, without cessation. So this is part of this mood that one must be one-pointed toward a particular goal if you want to actually be included as one who is properly situated on the path of bhakti. Then it can be called sadhan, otherwise not. If we're only seeking after what I like this, I like that, it might be nice, it might be good, but it's not proper. It's not proper. Someone would be like, oh, wow, I like Nishingadev because he's a fighter and I have a fighting spirit. So there's something there, it's nice. But what is the nature of that Atma? Is he really a Nishingadev Bhakta? Or is he a Ram Bhakta? Or Krishna Bhakta? Or Narayan Bhakta? Does he really know? Or is he just going with his flow, with his own feelings? When I was 4 years old, I was in nursery school. And the devotees came to that nursery school and they asked all of the children, what do you want to be in Krishna Loka? 99% of the boys said, no, 95, said, we want to be cowherd boys. A couple of them, one of them said, I want to be like Hanuman. Another one said, I want to be like Bhima. And sure enough, most of the girls, they said, we want to be gopis. And then the youngest one in the entire nursery school, she was only 3. They asked her, what do you want to be when you go back to Godhead? And she said, I want to be a flower. And I remember thinking at that time, I was only 4, because I went to regular school, kindergarten, or when I was 5. But that time, I was 4. And I remember thinking, she's the only one here who has understood the idea that I'm not this body. It was preached to us every single day. And she said, I want to be a flower. Now, still she's saying, I want to be something, but the idea. Everyone else was in this idea that I am a boy, so therefore I want to be a cowherd boy, or I'm a girl, therefore I want to be a gopi. But what is the nature of their soul? How can I know what is the nature of my soul so that I can establish my goal, so that I can do my sadhana, so I can attain my goal? This requires knowledge from outside of our own minds and intelligence. This necessitates the manifestation of Sri Guru in our lives. On the back of Sri Guru and His Grace by Srila Bhaktivedanta Sridhar Maharaja, there's a beautiful quote. And there it starts with, to err, E-R-R, is human. Means it is a human tendency to make mistakes. And because of that, we require help from outside of ourselves. We all know, according to Shastra, that the conditioned soul is subjected to 4 defects. Brahm, Pramada, Karanapatava, and Vipralipsa. Brahm means the tendency to come under illusion. Pramada means to make mistakes. Karanapatava means we have imperfect senses. And Vipralipsa means the tendency to cheat others. I guess including ourselves. So because of this, because we cannot depend on ourselves, and not only that, but we cannot extricate or free ourselves from the well of Maya by our own power, it is not possible. This necessitates Krishna's mercy manifesting in our life in the form of Sri Guru. Guru is the form of the condensed mercy of Krishna. Sangsara davana lalidhaloka tranaya karunya ghana ghanatvam praptasya kalyana gunarnavasya vande guru Sri Charanaravindam. He's compared to that dense, rain-laden cloud which has taken the mercy of Krishna from the ocean, coming over any forest fire and showering that mercy over the forest fire. The condensed form of the mercy of Krishna coming into our life is known as Krishna Kripa Shri Murti, the form of the mercy of Krishna or Sri Guru. When we come in contact with Sri Guru, he will give us indication, because he is Tattvadarshi, means he knows and sees the truth. He knows Krishna, he knows himself, he knows the nature of his relationship with Krishna. Therefore, he can also see beyond our bodily conception, beyond our bodily conditioning, because he is also non-different from Antaryami Paramatma. He can see what is in our heart, the nature of our soul, and the particular intrinsic nature of that soul in terms of its eternal service to Krishna. Why can it not be something that is added? Because Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that the jiva cannot be mutated. It is not mutable, it is immutable. So then how can you add something to it that it is not? that means you have mutated it. It can only manifest its nature. It is like Krishna, but infinitesimal. Krishna is also complete. And the jiva is complete. But Krishna always is dynamically, you can say, evolving. As I told yesterday, transcendental beauty competition. That means they're more beautiful, more beautiful. They don't then go back to being less beautiful. They're always becoming more and more beautiful. In the same way, the jiva is present. Everything is there in potential, like in seed form. And when the proper environment is present, our Gurudev has spoken this very clearly on thousands of occasions. What happens if you have a seed? You look at it, it's just a seed. But anybody who knows about a seed understands the potential in that seed. If you keep it in a jar on the shelf, it won't do anything. It'll just stay in its dormant state. The moment you put it in the soil, underground, provide sunlight and some water, Mahaprabhu says, Shravana Kirtana Jale Koriye Sechan. By Shravan, hearing, and Kirtan, repeating what we have heard. From that, this Bhakti Lata, our own intrinsic nature of loving service to Krishna, begins to manifest gradually. Sri Guru can detect that in our heart, give us indication for that. What is your goal? Don't become sidetracked. That is actually, you will realize, the entire point of this book, the essence or the origin of all the other books of the Goswamis. This Brihad Bhagavatamrita is, in essence, trying to make this point. Do not become sidetracked. Fix your goal. Don't waste so much time. You can become lost for what seems like an eternity. Fix your goal. Understand the process to attain that goal. Avoid anything which is unfavorable for the attainment of that goal, and run on that path. If you have your goal fixed, and you have your Gurudev and your Sadhu Sangha helping you, you can run on that path with your eyes closed, Srimad Bhagavatam says. Otherwise, it's a very, very dangerous situation. So, I just wanted to clarify that, and it will become more and more clarified as we're reading. So, he's asking, what is sadhya, the final goal, and sadhana, the method to attain it? Srila Gurudev is continuing, if this question is not within a disciple, then he will never reach the desired goal. Well, it makes sense. If you don't have a desired goal in the first place, then how will you ever reach it? Right? You don't just go to a train station and jump on any random train hoping to get to, if you don't have a goal, you'll just end up anywhere. So it can take forever to get where you really need to go if you don't have any particular goal in mind. When Mahaprabhu was in East Bengal, Tapan Mishra asked him, what is our sadhya and sadhana? What is our goal and what is the process to attain it? By asking this question, a disciple will please his guru very much, and the guru will reply, oh, what a beautiful question you have asked. So this is one of the primary ways of serving Gurudev. Remember, Pranipat Pariprashna Sevaya. How to serve Gurudev. By these Pariprashna, by those relevant questions that inspire Gurudev to speak about bhakti in such a way that you also want to receive and take that and run with it. This is pleasing to Gurudev and it is service to Gurudev. Not just washing his clothes. It's not enough. This can help to build some sukriti over time. But this is not what he wants of you, ultimately. He wants you to progress rapidly on the path of bhakti. Even our Gurudev wanted that before he left, our vision, that we would all come to the point or the platform of nishtha, guru nishtha, in the path of bhakti. So he would feel, oh, what a beautiful question you have asked. And this will please Guru so much. So for those of you who have not yet asked this question, you might want to try. But with a heart full of sincerity, What is my goal? And what is the path to attain my goal? What is my sadhya and what is my sadhan? Please instruct me. A disciple will be thinking, until now, I have been unable to ascertain what our sadhya is. Means on my own, I don't know. I'm hopelessly lost on my own. Ekaki amar nahi pae bal. On my own, I have no strength. I cannot even chant Harinam properly.
I don't even know what's going on in my own body.
Sudevi said, I don't even know what's going on in my own body. What to speak of what's going on in my soul? I can't even figure out what's going on inside this body and in this mind. Which voice is speaking to me? So many different voices are talking. Which one? Is it my intelligence? Is it my mind? Is it Paramatma? There's so many different feelings that come out. So it's important. Here, until now, I have been unable to ascertain what my goal is. There's a simple proof of that. Everyone just think about it. According to Shastra, the jivas who are bound in this material world have been bound here since time without beginning. That's why we are called nitya baddha, eternally bound. That means until now, by our own power, we have failed to attain perfection. Think about 1,000 years. Now think about millions, billions, trillions of lifetimes in every species of life. Further back, further back, further back. We cannot count. We cannot say. But we know, according to Shastra, we have been bound in this rotating wheel, samsara, of birth, disease, old age, and death, cycling since time without beginning, and by our own power, by our own potency, we have failed until now to extract ourselves from this cycle, which means on my own I can't do it. Until now I have not been able to anyhow. I read something once, they attributed it to Einstein. He says the definition of stupidity is that one continues or tries to do the same... The definition of insanity is that one does the same thing every time expecting a different result. So until now, we have somehow done the same thing every time and it has not helped. Maya mugda jivanahi svata krishna gyan. The conditioned soul cannot extricate or rescue himself from the entrapment of Maya by his own power. Therefore, Krishna, out of his causeless mercy, has given us Veda Shastra. And then you open up the Shastra and the Vedas and you go, oh my God, how do I navigate this? And then the next verse says, be careful, in the Veda and Shastras, it's like a massive ocean with so many dangerous creatures. Crocodiles and sharks and this and that. Oh my God, what do I do? How do I know what's real and what's not? How do I know what's favorable for me? So Mahaprabhu very mercifully has given the instruction, or Swarup Damodar Goswami, Jaha Bhagavatapara Vaishnavasthani. If you want to understand the scriptures, you must take shelter at the feet of any Vaishnava who will manifest that in your heart. We just sang today Shri Guru Charana Padma, Kevala Bhakati Sadma. There it says, Divya Gyan Hriday Prakashita. He will manifest transcendental knowledge in our heart. Krishna Prapti Hoy Jaha Hoite. Guru will make Krishna appear in your heart. Prema Bhakti Jaha Hoite Avidya Vinasha Jate. First, he will manifest Prema Bhakti in our heart. First is the particle known as Shraddha. He will awaken that. And by that, by the effect of that, as it is manifesting and growing more and more, Krishna Surya Samamayahoy Andakar, as the light of Krishna begins manifesting, automatically all ignorance, all anarthas and everything begin to disappear. Avidya Vinasha. Vinash means to destroy. All ignorance is destroyed. This is a gradual process. As one is manifesting, the other is disappearing naturally. So this is the process by which transcendental knowledge is manifested in the heart, as is told in the very first verse of Srimad Bhagavatam, Tene Brahma Hrida. It was manifested in the heart of Lord Brahma. How was Brahma initiated? Does anyone know? By the flute of Krishna. He heard that Kling Shabda. From that, it gave him the potency to understand everything. Then he did intense austerities that gave him the power to create, but also this was his initiation. He was initiated by the flute song of Krishna. So until now, I have been unable to ascertain what my sadhya is, what my goal is. Who should we worship? And how should we perform that worship? What is my necessity? To whom will I go? And how will I get to him? Who is my Ishtadev? I don't know. If I'm just speculating, then I might be going in the wrong direction. Only following the path of my likes and my dislikes. Oh, I like, you can hear so many people even in India, they're like, oh, I like Ram because he followed rules and regulations, and Krishna, Krishna. They say stuff like this in India also, without having an understanding of tattva vichar and rasa vichar. So I choose based on my likes, which are based on my own mental capacity. Then I can also fail. I can be lost. Or I can be worshipping all at the same time. Then what happens? If you are not one-pointed, Krishna says, then you can never attain any destination. He says it in Bhagavad Gita. If you don't have a single-minded focus, what destination will you have? The example in Mahabharata is very, very appropriate in this connection. Dronacharya was having all of the Pandavas and Kauravas, when he was teaching them archery and weapons, he was teaching them how to focus. So he had different boys aim their arrow. There was something in the tree, parrot, a bird or something.
A wooden bird.
Wooden bird, so they say. Wooden bird. What do you see? Oh, I see the tree, and I see the bird, and I see the sky, and I see you, and I see everyone else. And Dronacharya would say, no, go to the side.
They were supposed to hit the eye of the bird.
So they were supposed to focus on the eye of the bird and hit the eye of the bird with their arrow. The next one he called, focus your arrow. What do you see? Oh, I see the bird, I see the tree, I see my arrow, I see the bow, I see the sun. To the side. Finally it came Arjuna's turn. What do you see? I only see the eye of the bird. Do you see anything else? No. What do you see? Just the pupil in the center of the eye of the bird. That's it, just the pupil. He said, you may release your arrow. This is the definition of focused. If we want to attain a particular goal on the path of bhakti, then we need to have focus. Also, we need to have a goal. So these things are essential if you want to attain that destination. Otherwise, we can be lost. Brahmanda Brahmite, wandering from universe to universe in so many different bodies for who knows how long. Or as Prahlad Maharaj said, destination unknown. So we don't want to be in a situation like that on the path of bhakti. If the root requirement for bhakti ras is the intense greed to have it, then that means we should also develop our intense greed toward that particular goal. This will be proof of our entrance into the path of bhakti. So, until now, I have not been able to ascertain what my goal is. Who should I worship? How should I worship him? What is my necessity? Who will I go to? And how will I get to him? My Ishtadev. Therefore, from the very beginning of our spiritual practice, we must know what is sadhana and what is sadhya. Which path should I take? And by traveling along this path, what will I attain? This knowledge is given only in a real sampradaya. In some sampradayas, we don't even find this. There are 4 bona fide sampradayas according to Shastra. There's the Rudra Sampradaya, which is headed by the Acharya Vishnu Swami, and the leaders of this Rudra Sampradaya are the 4 Kumaras, Chatushan. There's the Sampradaya started by Lakshmi. The Acharya of that Sampradaya is Ramanujacharya. This is known as Sri Sampradaya. Then there's the Brahma, the one started by Krishna, coming to Brahma. So from him, then we have Madhvacharya as the Acharya of this Sampradaya. And we, Gaudiya Vaishnavas, come into this Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya. And the other one is the Nimbaditya, or some call Nimbarka Sampradaya. Sorry, it's not his Sampradaya, he's the Acharya of that Sampradaya. And that's coming from? My mind just went blank there, but you all understand. So there's 4 bona fide Sampradayas. And one should come into any of those Sampradayas. Interestingly, our Gurudev said in Germany in, I don't remember which year, Paderborn, we were all sitting there, and he said, the fact that you have come to the line of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in this very refined path of Rupa Goswami, Rupanuga, he said 99% of you intrinsically have this mood of maidservant towards Srimati Radhika. This is Rupanuga. 99% of you. He said maybe 1 or 2, maybe Ram Bhakta or anything else. But most of you have this intrinsic mood. Otherwise, you would have naturally been brought to any other sampradaya where any other mood of service to the Lord is manifest. But it is interesting that someone who is considered to be in a higher rasa, now this is according to Rasa Vichar, which gives Krishna the most happiness and most pleasure, they can nourish the bhavs of any other one. And Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, as I mentioned yesterday, talks about this kind of cumulative approach. So within Madhurya Ras is contained the maximum of Vatsalya, Sakya, Dasya, and all other rasas.
I'm just hoping that everyone understands Madhurya Sakya Bhav like this.
Madhurya means the mood of the gopis or the maid of Krishna or the maidservants of Srimati Radhika. This Madhurya is considered the topmost or sweetest of rasas. Only to those gopis was Krishna not able to repay. He tells everyone else, as you approach me, I can reciprocate accordingly. Ye yata mam prapadyante tangstataiva bhajamyaham. But when the gopis met him in the middle of the night at Vangshivat, what did he say? Naparyeham nirabadya samyujam. I have no way to repay you for your love and affection. Your love is the greatest thing in all of creation that I can even conceive of. So let your love be its own repayment, and you should be satisfied with that. If he cannot repay something, then he becomes subservient to that. So, only for them, he says this, Napareham nirabadya samyujam. This is a very important point. So, within the Madhurya Ras, or the highest Ras, according to Rasa Vichar, within that is contained the completion or the maximum of Vatsalya Ras. I've read it from my Gurudev, actually I heard it from his mouth, and I've read it also from Srila Prabhupada in the 10th canto, before the Brahma Vimohan Lila. So he was doing this translation and purport himself. And both of them said the same thing. Mother Yashoda is the embodiment of Srimati Radhika's Vatsalya Prem for Krishna. It's quite a deep concept. The embodiment of her Vatsalya Prem for Krishna, which means that Srimati Radhika contains within her the maximum of Vatsalya Prem. Also, within Madhurya Ras contains the maximum of Sakya Ras, the maximum of Dasya, the maximum of Shanta, and everything else. Which means that Madhurya can nourish all other rasas. Vatsalya may not be able to nourish Madhurya, but it can nourish Sakya and all other rasas. Sakya might not be able to nourish the ones above it, but everything below it, I'm using this in terms of upper and lower, but everyone who is within their eternal rasa, it feels that this is the absolute of perfection. The cowherd boys don't need to become gopis to feel perfection. They're perfectly situated in their position. I hope that was clear. So, I mentioned these 4 sampradayas. I can't remember the 4th one, it's still not coming. 4 sampradayas, 4 bona fide sampradayas, but those who are attracted to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and who have come to the Rupanuga line. This is very, very specific. And Rupa Goswami was that person who established what Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to give in this world. Our Gurudeva explained in Pinnacle of Devotion, underneath the section of the descent of Lord Chaitanya, there's one section there. He really broke it down in a very succinct way. Who is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Is he Krishna coming to taste the mood of Mother Yashoda? No. Is he Krishna coming to taste the mood of Sridam, Sudam, Dam, Vasudam, Madhumangal, tasting the moods of the cowherd boys? No. Is he Krishna coming to taste the moods of the servants in the households of Mother Yashoda, in Dasyaras? Or coming to taste the mood of Krishna's flute, or the trees, or the cows? No. He is Krishna, completely obsessed with the loving moods of Srimati Radhika. Shri Radhaya Pranaya Mahima. How great is her love. What is she experiencing by tasting my love and affection? And what happiness does she experience upon loving and serving me? With intense, obsessive desperation to understand this. Shri Radhaya Pranaya Mahima Kidrishovaneva Ashvadyo Yenad Bhutam Dhurima Kidrishovamadiya Sokyam Chasimad Anubhavata Kidrisham Veti Lobhat Tadbhavadyam Shamajani Shachigarbha Sindho Harindu. Tadbhavadyam Samajani Shachigarbha Sindho Harindu. So, this says, desiring to taste these moods of Srimati Radhika, Krishna himself manifested from the womb of Mother Sachi in a different form, in a beautiful golden form, like the moon rises from the ocean. So, tad bhavadyam samajani shachigarbha sindho harindu. This was his main reason for appearing, to taste the moods of Srimati Radhika. And what he was experiencing was so full of nectar. That prem ras was so amazing and spectacular for him. Prem ras niryash korite ashwadan. You see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sachinandan Gaurahari, with one arm up. This means he is tasting this unata ujvala ras, this highest ras. He's tasting that nectar. But it's not enough for him to just taste it by himself. He's experiencing this thing which is so amazing that he also wants to share it. In the same way that Duryodhana wanted to give away all of the treasure of Yudhishthira Maharaj at the time of Rajasuya Yagya, but he didn't know that he had a special line on his hand which made it all multiply, double instantaneously, any wealth he touched. Our Gurudev explained that Mahaprabhu wanted to also plunder that wealth and share it with the world. So Raga Marga Bhakti Loke Korite Pracharan, that all of the world should experience this nectar of spontaneous loving affection for Krishna. But what spontaneous loving affection was he himself tasting? Radha Bhav. So, in the verse composed by Srila Rupa Goswami, our Gurudev has explained regarding this verse, Anarpita charing chidat kuranayavatinnakkalo samarpayitum unatojvala rasang swabhakti shriyam. There it says unatojvala rasang swabhakti shriyam. Rupa Goswami wrote this. Mahaprabhu was so pleased by it that he showered blessings on Rupa Goswami and engaged all of the other devotees to shower blessings on him, and then instructed him to write and to share these realizations with the world. Unata ujvala rasang, this is the mood of the highest love and affection for Krishna. This is Srimati Radhika's mood of love and affection for Krishna. Sva Bhakti Shriyam means the beauty of that. Our Gaudiya Guru Varga, our acharyas coming in the line of Rupa Goswami, have explained, and it is pretty clear across the board what this means. This has been told by Rupa Goswami, all of our acharyas since then, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. If you see all the disciples of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, they also understand and have shared this as well. What is our goal? Swabhakti Shriyam, otherwise known as Radha Dasyam. Means I only want to be maidservant of Srimati Radhika. And we also pray this in the Tulsi prayer. What is it? E nivedanadara sakir anugata karo. Seva adhikar diye koro nijadasi. My only supplication, e nivedanadara, sakir anugata karo. Make me a maidservant of the gopis in Vrindavan. Please give me the qualification for seva. Make me your own dasi, your own maidservant. Why? Shri Radha Govinda Preme Sada Yena Vasi, so that I may always swim in the love of Shri Shri Radha and Govinda. Yes, we say this every morning. So, was there a question?
No, but Sachinandan Das, he answered the question, or because you said you forgot the one. So from Srimadya is the Brahma Madhya Sampradaya, then Sri Ramanuja, disciplic line from Lakshmi, Sri Sampradaya, then
Nimbaditya.
Yes, coming from the four Kumaras, and then Sri Vishnu Swami coming from Mahadev, known as Rudra.
Did I tell all of this? Brahma, Lakshmi?
You didn't say Rudra.
Rudra. Oh, okay, there you go.
Thank you, Sachinandam Prabhu.
Gopeshwar Mahadev. Thank you.
Your mind just went blank.
Because I was thinking about other things. So, which path should I take? And by traveling along this path, what will I attain?
Jiva Pavana Prabhu asks, please say a little about Manjari Bhav, Tata Bhavichatmika. He didn't say Tata Bhav, I did.
So, we were requested to say a little bit of something more about this particular subject.
Jiva Pavana Prabhu is our very senior.
Jiva Pavan Prabhu has requested. He's the disciple of Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Shiksha, disciple of Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj, and he's very astute devotee. He requested that we can speak a little more on this particular subject, which is very important for us. Those who have been attracted to this particular path are attracted for a particular reason. It's almost like magnetic attraction. Why have we come to this particular path and taken shelter of these particular gurus who have this specific kind of nature? One thing we should understand, according to Srimad Bhagavatam, There's one verse in the 11th canto, Aho batas svapachatto gariyam. It should be understood that by the time one has faith in the name of Krishna, that they have already done everything else that there is to be done. They have already studied all Shastra. They have already gone to all places of pilgrimage, bathed in all holy rivers. They have already studied all scriptures and done all austerities. And also attained perfection in every other path. Which means we've done a lot. Srila Bhaktivedanta Maharaj explained that we have, was it 100 or 1,000?
He said at least 100 lifetimes working on this path.
So Srila Bhaktivedanta Maharaj explained that by the time that we come to the point of having faith in Hare Krishna Mahamantra, you should know that it has been minimum 100 lifetimes of extreme hard endeavor to come to this point. It's not something ordinary.
It didn't just happen.
Yeah, it didn't just happen. It's not something like, oh, I was the most fallen. Someone told that to Prabhupada once, and he replied so appropriately, you are not the most anything. Now, I think that's just brilliant, because it's almost the opposite side of the coin of false humility. It's just the same thing. It's I'm the most fallen. So we should understand. Huh? I know. I'm building up to that. So it should be understood that we have already developed so far to come to this point where we're coming under the guidance of Rupa Anuga Vaishnavas. Rupa Anuga means to be in the Anugatya, or following in the path or the line of the moods and the teachings of Srila Rupa Goswami. It's very specific. Real Rupa Anuga means that. Now some would say Rupa Anuga means anyone who's reading his books. But our Gurudev was very clear on this point, that Rupa Anuga means you are following the same path, the same practices that Rupa Goswami followed in his sadhak form and in his siddha form internally as a maidservant of Srimati Radhika, known as Sri Rupa Manjari. You will also be performing that kind of sadhana, seva, for Radha and Krishna. What's going on outside is in sadhak form, what's going on inside is in siddha form. This is really the definition of Rupa Anuga. We are aspiring to become Rupa Anuga, but even our Srila Prabhupada, he has said that we are Rupa Anugas. So this is our hope, our aspiration, our goal. Srila Prabhupada spoke, the mission of the Krishna consciousness movement is to become one of the Gopi Jana. So this is our goal, our aspiration, our hope. He left a lot of room for people to find their inspiration, but if you really want to understand what the particulars of this path are, it is Rupa Anuga. So what is the mood that Rupa Goswami is giving? This is what Mahaprabhu also wanted to awaken in the hearts of all jivas. Not toward any other bhav, but toward serving Srimati Radhika. And what is that mood? It is called Manjari Bhav, or Palyadasi Bhav, or Kinkari Bhav, maidservant Bhav, serving Radha and Krishna, but with a special leaning towards Srimati Radhika. Srila Bhakti Rakshak Srila Maharaj remembers being with Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada, and some devotees pointed out, oh, look at these bhaktas, they're doing parikrama, and they're doing Dandavat parikrama of Radha Kund and so many things like this. And he said, yes, but their mood is different from ours. They only come here and offer pranam and respect Srimati Radhika because she is connected to Krishna. But our mood is exactly the opposite of that. He said, we only have anything to do with Krishna because he is connected to Srimati Radhika. This is coming from Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada. So our goal, our hope, our aspiration, our sadhya, a particular goal, Of course, this needs to be confirmed by Sri Guru. This is not necessarily across the board. There might be persons from other rasas who come around, but most who are attracted to this particular line are attracted for the specific reason that the seed nature in their soul is to serve Radha and Krishna in Vrindavan under the guidance of the gopis. And if we see our Gurudev and all of our Gurudevs, how should we see them? Nikunjayuno ratike nisidhyay yayalibhir yuktirapekshaniya tatratidakshadati vallabhasya vande guru shri charanarvindam. Expert in assisting the gopis in their service to Shri Shri Radha and Krishna. So this mood is what Rupa Goswami has. Raghunath Das Goswami, Sanatan Goswami, Jiva Goswami, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Narottam Thakur, Bhaktivedanta Thakur, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Param Gurudev Srila Bhakti Pragyan, Keshav Goswami Maharaj, our Gurudev Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj, and by his own mouth I have heard him say hundreds of times, Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj, our Srila Prabhupada, also has this same intrinsic inherent mood of loving service to Shri Shri Radha and Krishna in Vrindavan. So this is our hope, our goal, our aspiration. How to attain that? Coming close to that kind of personality. Tishtam Rajetat Anuragi. That person who has this particular kind of anurag. Rupa Anuga. Mood of the maidservant of Srimati Radhika, but not just any. How specific is it? Our Gurudev told us we should be very clear. I only want to be the Palyadasi of Srimati Radhika. What kind? In the gun or the group of Lalita Saki, under the guidance of Sri Rupa Manjari. This is our hope, our goal, and our aspiration. And Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita explains that Srimati Radhika is like a golden creeper, embracing or circumambulating the dark tumultuary of Krishna. Hemlata. Hem means gold. Hemalata means golden creeper, embracing the tumultuary of Krishna. And because her mood is seva to Krishna, she's experiencing hundreds or thousands of times more bliss and pleasure in service to Krishna than he's experienced upon receiving that pleasure. Therefore, he wants to taste that, and he comes as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita gives a special coded understanding. This is Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, who was also in the line of Rupa Goswami, with the same intrinsic internal mood as a maidservant of Srimati Radhika in Vrindavan, and under the guidance of Sri Rupa. There he's saying that there the leaves and the flowers are compared to the maidservants, the Sakis of Srimati Radhika. And they are also fluttering and experiencing thousands of times more bliss and pleasure. When it was offered, the idea is offered to Raghunath Das Goswami that you can be a Saki of Srimati Radhika. What does he respond? I do not want any lesser thing. Means to meet directly with Krishna. I don't want this lesser thing. Our Gurudev would always say. What was his prayer? Sakyayate namanamostu namostu nityam. Again and again I'm offering pranam to the position of being your Sakhi. Dasyayate mamarasostu rasostu satyam. In truth, my only happiness, my only desire is to be your dasi, to be your maidservant. And our path really must follow the path of Raghunath Das Goswami. You see how first he had to receive the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu. Nityananda Prabhu placed both of his lotus feet on the head of Raghunath Das Goswami, gave him his mercy. This is Guru Tattva first. Raghunath tried to go to Mahaprabhu first. Mahaprabhu sent him home. He said, don't be like a mad fellow. Go home. But you should meditate on Radha and Krishna. And when the time is right, Krishna will make all arrangements for you. So then he came back, that time to Nityananda Prabhu. Nityananda Prabhu called him a thief. Hey, thief! You tried to take what was my property. Meaning he tried to go directly to Krishna, to Mahaprabhu. But first he has to come to Guru. Nityananda Prabhu placed both of his lotus feet upon the head of Raghunath Das Goswami, gave him his mercy. And then what did he do? He engaged Raghunath in serving all of the Vaishnavas. So this was the blessing of Sri Guru, of Nityananda Prabhu. And then from that, Raghunath Das Goswami was sent to Mahaprabhu. But Mahaprabhu did not keep him. Mahaprabhu instantaneously gave him into the loving care of Swarup Damodar Goswami. So this Raghunath then became known as Swaruper Raghu. Means the Raghunath of Swarup Damodar Goswami. Who is Swarup Damodar Goswami in Krishna Lila? Lalita Saki. So this is our path. And if we want to attain that goal, then we also have to become like Raghunath Das Goswami.
What does Srila Prabhupada say? What does Krishna like most? What is our position?
In Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, in the section glorifying Srimati Radhika, which is pretty much all of it, but there, in the section where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Krishna is desiring to taste the moods of Srimati Radhika, there Srila Prabhupada writes in his purport, our mood, he was talking about what is the nature of all souls, that is to love and serve Krishna. What is real love? Real love is to do what is favorable for the happiness, for the pleasure, and for the benefit of your beloved, without any selfish mood involved. What is favorable, pleasurable, beneficial for my beloved, even if I have to suffer, but let them be happy. So this is the mood which is mentioned there. So Prabhupada said, so what does Krishna like most? What does Krishna like most? Srimati Radharani. He said, so our mood is how to push Radharani to Krishna. That is the mood of the maidservants of Srimati Radhika. How to prepare her. How to increase Krishna's transcendental pleasure by preparing Srimati Radhika for Krishna. She is the medium, Prabhupada writes, Srimati Radharani is the medium by which our love and affection is transmitted to Krishna. That is the meaning of Hladini Shakti. She is Krishna's transcendental pleasure potency, love potency. So this is our hope, our goal, our aspiration, and coming under the guidance of the Rupanuga Guru Varga, our Guru Parampara, coming in the line of Srila Rupa Goswami, we have a hope and a prayer that this bhav, this mood, will be awakened in our heart because of their touch. Their hearts are already burning in this kind of love and service to Radha and Krishna, and by their association, like fire, we will also catch, and that mood will awaken in our hearts. So this is our hope, this is our aspiration, this is our goal. This is what Mahaprabhu intrinsically came to give, and this is what Rupa Goswami gave to us. So we're praying that may Rupa Goswami and all of those in his path please give us their mercy and awaken that mood within our heart by which Krishna will become most happy. That is how to push Srimati Radhika to Krishna. So we will end here. Srila Gurudev ki jai, Sri Sanatan Goswami ki jai, Sri Rupanuga Gauriya Guru Varga ki jai, Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki jai, Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Going beyond Vaikuntha ki jai.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, महादेव की
जय।
पति पावन श्री नित्यानंद प्रभु की जय। प्रेम पुरुषोत्तम शचिनंदन गौर हरि की जय। श्री राधा विनोद बिहारी जी की जय। राधा रमण सरकार की जय। गिरिराज महाराज की जय। हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की जय। गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि गोविंद दामोदर माधवेति गोविंद दामोदर माधवेति गोविंद दामोदर माधवेति गोविंद दामोदर माधवेति। राधे 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 जय जय श्री राधे 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 जय जय श्री राधे 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 जय जय श्री राधे 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 जय जय श्री राधे जय जय श्री राधे जय श्री राधे Sham. Thank you for joining us tonight. Please come back again tomorrow. We're still under lock and key. So please come and join us. Radhe Radhe. Hare Krishna.